Hey friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. So, you know Dior Sauvage? Good. You even know Bleu de Chanel. Look at you, you know everything.
Wow, I'm so smart.
Well, we're not talking about those today. We're talking about fragrances that most people don't know about. But if you do know about them, it gives you an unfair advantage. Nice. The goods, the services that fly under the radar, beginning with, this bottle is effed up looking. It is a mess. It is Armaf Spartacus. Oh my God. This bottle is yoked. Like, this is on all the steroids. Basically, they looked at the Le Mans bottle and they said to themselves, pathetic. Does that dude even lift? Ours does. Yeah. And then Spartacus here was born, complete with tiny head and helmet. Usually with the human growth hormone, it makes your head actually blow up like a balloon. Not this time. So obviously with this being an Armaf, it's an inspired by fragrance, and when I bought it, it actually wasn't even available at discounters. Well, at JOMASHOP they had like a sample, but I'm not gonna buy a sample of a friggin' cologne fragrance? That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna spend $10 for like a little tiny spray bottle of a couple milliliters? What? No, sir. So I actually bought it off eBay. Yeah. As much as I complain about eBay having fakes, and it does, sometimes you can find things there first. Yeah. Another thing I love about this bottle, and it is the last thing I'm gonna say, it's so like disproportionate to how a body actually looks that it's leaning backwards because it's just so friggin' jacked. This is like prime Conan the Barbarian right here.
We shall see.
Now in terms of the scent, it actually does smell similar to a Le Mans fragrance. So I guess that's actually truly what they were going for. It smells mainly like Elixir Absolu, which there have been a few different versions of that have come out here recently. This one though, with a little twist to it, a little hybridization going on. It has a bit of PDM Altair mixed in there. Now it's mainly the Jean Paul Gaultier, which again, you can kind of tell just by the chopped off arm male torso bottle style, but as it dries down, it takes on a little bit of that PDM vibe kind of mixed within the JPG vibe. And in actuality, it smells pretty good. Performance is solid as well. The only thing that's maybe not amazing is the atomizer, which very strangely feels kind of flimsy and isn't pressurized or anything like that. So that's the only part I would really knock, other than the totally ripped commando style 80s bottle. But it's almost so tacky, it's cool. I don't know, I can't decide. Fragrance in here though, really, really nicely done. Let's keep it tacky. Phantom in Red by Rabanne. Phantom is the line that everyone loves to hate on and make fun of because it's a small robot. How stupid. Now, if it looked like Wall-E, maybe people would like it more and they would think, I don't know, robot's kind of okay, you know, he's a good guy. I don't know, he kind of looks like he could hang out with Wall-E, or he looks like a generic droid from Star Wars or something, like one you would just see in the background and then gets blasted randomly, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, Phantom in general, not the most beloved fragrance line for a lot of people, but I'll tell you, this stuff is good. It's really good, it's solid. It's got a bunch of lavender in there, which is gonna tie it in with the other Phantom fragrances. Has plum liquor off the top, as well as saffron. As it dries down, amberwood, benzoin, tobacco. A little bit of that vanilla-esque vibe that the Phantom line is known for as well. The performance here is good. It projects, it lasts, it'll get you noticed. It is sweet, but it's also a Rabanne, so I mean like 95% of them are. It's kind of par for the course. And I'm not a massive fan of the Phantom line. A lot of them I think are just so-so or worse. You know, it's like their peak is so-so, and then below is where most of them are hanging out. But this one is really good, and for me, the best one of the lineup. I think a lot of people are gonna overlook it because it is a Phantom. But if you try this on, give it a few wears, I think it may surprise you. Now let's get something for the guys who want a little different vibe, something green, something aromatic, something that is not going to be concentrating on the sweet side of things. Varvatos Artisan Forest, which, cool bottle. I think it looks pretty sick. To be fair, a lot of the Varvatos fragrances have really cool bottles. Now this one I unfortunately paid full retail for, and I say unfortunately because Varvatos fragrances, when they pop up at discounters, are usually heavily discounted. So Yeah, I just couldn't wait long enough. I gave in. That's what happened. Don't be like me. Ooh. Varvatos has moved to these pressurized atomizers that are really nice. Now, like I said, this is green, like leafy sort of green, almost vaguely reminiscent of like tomato leaf at times. So the actual leaf in here is fig leaf. There's also tangelo, there's fig itself, there's violet, little cedar, little amber, and galbanum in there as well. There are a bunch of different notes in here. It's not a simplistic 3-note note breakdown, thankfully. It's gonna be perfect for spring, but again, it's going to appeal more to guys looking for something aromatic, something that truly has a bit of greenery to it, which it's named Forest and the bottle looks like this, so that should be expected. There is a slight hint of sweetness in there, the tangelo, to try to take off a little bit of the edge from the greenery, especially off the top. But again, it's nowhere near like all the vanilla bomb fragrances that have come out here lately. Performance, it's so-so. It's a Varvatos. But if you're looking for something a little bit out of the ordinary, especially something that's gonna be a little bit gentlemanly as well, that stuff, solid. Rayhaan Wolf AI edition. Or actually, no, it's just the normal edition though. But that is our friend, Mr. AI Wolf, just chilling on the front of the bottle. Gemini, make me a wolf that has cool swirls. Enter. So this one dropped very recently, carrying on with the Rayhaan animal line of fragrances. That's not a thing. But they do have lion and they have tiger, but they don't have bear. They have wolf. I feel like it was a missed opportunity.
Yes, my turn.
So this one smells like the Most Wanted. And just like the Most Wanted, very simple note breakdown. 3 notes: cardamom, toffee, amberwood. That's it. It's gonna be obviously more fall, winter, an evening fragrance, date night fragrance, very good performance. And that's kind of the deal with these fragrances, lion, tiger, and wolf, is they're usually pretty powerful. For example, lion, that one smells similar to Ultramall, and it's basically just like a turbocharged version of that fragrance. A little bit of a similar vibe going on for this one right here. So essentially, the Most Wanted, if you want that on the cheap, ta-da, very anticlimactic. Ta-da. Something that flies way under the radar that's not gonna be for absolutely everybody, but for the people it works for, it crushes. It is Impact Parfum. This is Tommy Hilfiger. Pretty cheap nowadays. I picked my bottle up, I think from JOMASHOP like months back. And unfortunately, at some point along the way, you know, they stopped doing the little hidden bottle thing that they had inside of the caps. Obviously, it was a massive gimmick, but with the original Impact, it had a little travel atomizer inside there, but not anymore. Blah, blah. All right, no breakdown, simple, boring even. It has suede, oud, vanilla, and elemi. And let me tell you, when you first spray this stuff on, it can be a little bit divisive because it does not open up with a hand-holdy citrus or apple. Instead, it hits you with an aggressive punch of deep woodiness, of leather, and then a bit of vanilla kind of underneath, but not enough to take fully the edges off. Some people have compared it to the smell of Stronger With You Oud. I would say it's kind of in that wheelhouse, but the Stronger With You is gonna lean a little bit more toward that gourmand side of things, you know, with that chestnut sort of Stronger With You DNA coming through. But it is in that overall wheelhouse, and as this stuff dries down, it smells really surprisingly good. Perfect for an evening out, really good fall, wintertime fragrance, good performance, all things considered as well. I mean, it's not the loudest fragrance, but it does last for a good amount of time, especially on clothing. Just don't make a snap decision on it. That's the thing with this one. You know, if you spray it on and within 30 seconds you go, oh, yeah, not for me, then you're missing out, because as it settles, it gets legitimately like 3 times nicer. And when I say as it settles, I'm not talking about, you know, 45 minutes or anything like that. Because I know with some fragrances, it's like, oh, let it settle. And then what they actually mean by that is 3 hours later, it's good. Nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Next one is cheap and overlooked. But before we get to that, codes! Power! Power. Yeah, I got a bunch of different codes here for you. They're also in the description, so you can copy and paste if that's easier for you. For example, 10% off anytime you shop at FragFlex. Excellent. Just copy and paste that code. Also have codes for Perfume Box, Gift Express, Fragrance Lord, and JOMASHOP as well. The JOMASHOP codes, though, only work within the JOMASHOP app. So be aware of that. You have to download the app in order to use those codes, and they do change every quarter. So that next fragrance I was mentioning, it's this one. Pepe Jeans, Addictive Indulgence. I've always had a soft spot for the Pepe jeans because they're usually like $20. So yeah. You got me, you're cheap as dirt. Cheap as dirt, haha, nice.
You're cheap.
Am I grading it on a curve? Maybe. But to be fair, you can't really buy something for 20 bones and then be like, this doesn't smell like my $500 fragrance, blah. And I think you also can't go, this $20 fragrance doesn't smell as high quality as my Chanel, blah. Like, yeah. I went to McDonald's and it didn't taste as good as Nobu, blah. Cardamom, chestnut, cacao, vanilla, leather. Some of the things going on here. Longevity's pretty good, projection, pretty average. Warm, sweet, sexy, a little bit in common with a bunch of different fragrances out there. The ones that you'd probably most draw comparisons to is literally anything in the Comra style and Stronger With You, which of course Stronger With You because chestnut plus sweet notes. Yeah. For 20 bucks, a great grab, spray, and go fragrance for fall and winter time. Just be aware, pretty sweet. And the sweetness does obviously have a bit of a synthetic vibe to it, but still smells really nice. Look at this! Slow living. Mykonos. Cotton sheets and Italian summer. Nice. So this one is just 110% straight up for somebody looking for a fragrance that is gonna give you something very clean, very classy, a little bit understated, but not in a way that comes across as completely forgettable. So we're talking soapy clean vibes here. It's gonna remind you of Petit Matin by MFK. It's gonna remind you of Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford, stuff like that. It is not for somebody looking for an ostentatious bomb, like a vanilla sweet overload. That's the furthest thing from this in existence. This is just for the bros trying to smell put together. Like your life is going just perfect. Yes, I am pleased that I'm working here for the 5th day in a row. 12-hour shifts every day. I smell clean. You can tell I'm happy. Mercedes-Benz Extreme. Or technically Club Extreme. Everybody knows Club Black, right? Well, this one right here was very difficult to find for a while and pretty expensive. And then it popped back up and was like, hey, I'm available for $30 again. So why not? Woo! It smells a little similar to Amen. Yeah, Mugler Amen, the original, the throwback Amen. It smells a little bit like that. Big old dose of patchouli. That has a little bit of a chocolatey feel to it as well. Also has leather in here, woody notes, amber, touch of citrus. It's dark, it's elegant, it's strong. And for the price point, it smells way more expensive than you would imagine. And as I said, used to be difficult to find and very expensive. So now that the getting is good again, might as well get to getting. Yeah, check it out. It's Ramad Myrrh by Arabiyat Prestige. Now this one gets completely and totally overlooked, and I understand why, but it still rules. So the reason it gets overlooked is because it smells similar to Montebaco by Ormond Jane. Whoo! Now this is gonna be for the guys looking for something that is classy, that's a day-to-day wear, something that has more of an aroma chemical, but still very, very nice smelling woodiness. And if you've smelled Ormond Jane fragrances before, or at least the ones made for men, you honestly probably have a decent idea of how this is gonna come across because a number of their fragrances have pretty good overlap. So like Ormond Man, for example, that one has decent overlap with Montebaco. If you've smelled Verano, used to be Montebaco Verano, that's basically just a fresher take on Montebaco, which is what this is. I think it is absolutely fantastic as a classy, masculine, day-to-day any time of the year wear. Now, the fragrance that this is inspired by maybe doesn't have the same cachet as some of the other ones in the Ramad lineup, and is maybe not quite as in your face as some of those, but as far as just a day-to-day scent, like a potential signature scent, it's one of the best ones. Nice. Gonna switch it up with this last one. I was gonna go with something different, but I'm going Michael Kors Absolu. So Michael Kors, a little interesting when it comes to men's fragrances. They had some bangers, okay? They're way up here with some of the other discontinued fragrances, but especially their tobacco fragrance. Woo! And then they had a whole bunch of extreme fragrances, which were kind of weird. Not that they smelled weird, just they were random. It was like extreme speed, extreme night, extreme sky, just extreme everything. Everything is extreme. But the fragrances themselves were actually kind of pedestrian. Like they were fine, but I don't know, I'd call them extreme. Then they said, scrap all that. We're coming out with our new Michael Kors fragrances that look like a chain. And then this is the first flanker. So this one right here, it opens up with a big citrus pop. So a lot of lemon when you first spray it on. A little bit rindy, but also fresh. It's got good pop to it, kind of a sparkle. Clean cardamom, vanilla, and mint also working in together with that citrus, and then you have Akigala wood as it dries down. Performance is pretty good as well. It's a great day-to-day fragrance. I think pretty much anybody can pull this stuff off, especially if you enjoy that citrus when you first spray it on. My wife thinks it smells amazing in the opening, for example. The main issue that I feel like holding this back from more people getting it and wearing it and everything is the name Michael Kors at this point does not command a lot of cachet. Because if somebody says, oh, Giorgio Armani, everyone goes, oh yeah, Armani. Yves Saint Laurent, oh yeah, YSL. You say Michael Kors and they go, oh yeah, Michael Kors. Yeah, they have this stuff at TJ Maxx. Yeah, it's cheap. And at discounters, it still hasn't come down enough. You know, it's sitting around 70 bucks or so. And the fragrance is good. It's just, I think for a lot of people, 70 bucks, kind of iffy. If it dropped down to say 50, or it came in line with the Coach for Men fragrances, as far as the pricing, kind of more consistently in that range, I think a lot more people would be about it. Now, all that aside, it's still really good, flies under the radar, great day-to-day scent for a lot of people. And like I said, my wife loves the stuff, so, you know. Am I biased? Yeah. So there we go, guys, right there. Some fragrances that don't get talked about that much, that are actually really, really good, especially for the particular people who gravitate more toward their particular styles. Like this one for somebody wanting something more aromatic, a little bit leafy, classy. And this one for somebody looking for a great masculine year-round signature scent. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.